Welcome back. Are you ready to solve this one? Cause we're gonna. In this part, we find out what really happened, and it's maybe not what you expected. I know it isn't what I expected it to be. Welcome back. So, this is where we left off. I was kind of distracted because the sound of my headset was going from left to right, so I was like, what's happening? But it's just a game, I guess. So last time we checked out almost every location. I don't know if we did in one part what we've been. Almost everywhere except for the cathedral and the water treatment station.
So this is what it's come to, eh? Braving the stench of human waste in hopes of finding a lead?
I guess.
Just make sure you stay away from the edge.
That would be smart. Is this our man, sewer walker? Who stinks? That's what the bartender said.
Handy to know where you are. But why would anyone actually travel around the city this way?
That is my thought as well.
Another mysterious device. I was happier not knowing all this went on after I used the commode. Another mysterious machine. Who knew dealing with human waste involved so much technology?
I have to say, for sewer it looks kind of clean.
While you could use a bath, I don't think this is the right place to take a dip.
I agree. Let's speak to this man.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
My name's Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a sewer worker by the name of Cormac.
We needn't look no further. But what is this about?
I just have a few questions for you.
All right. Cormac will answer them, but don't dally for too long.
I'll
It can be
try.
dangerous down here for anyone who's not trained as Cormac is.
What's that supposed to mean? Trained? You're just shoveling poo or not? What are you doing? So I shouldn't daddle, he says, and I can ask all of this? Who's Priscilla?
Do you know anyone named Priscilla?
Ah, that's not a name Cormac knows.
Or rather, that's the name the other guy heard.
I wonder if you could tell me if you saw a man of this description at the Silent Raven on election night. He's tall, strong build, with a beard or mutton chops, dressing all in black and possibly wearing a cap.
And his red hair.
Aye. Cormac remembers seeing a fella like that.
You do?
What was he doing?
Kept going in and out of the bar. When he was inside, he stood near the voting booths, hardly moving a muscle.
And when he was outside?
That, Cormac couldn't say.
Did you notice anything else about him?
Yes, Cormac noticed him come in and speak with Nicole, the barmaid, after the commotion outside.
Interesting.
Is that right? It's very interesting.
I agree, because she didn't remember him, she said. So is she lying?
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Cormac knows few men. People don't much like talking to a man who spends his days in his sewers.
Yeah, I can get that.
Can't really blame him for it. It's hard to get a stink off, so why bother even trying?
You didn't answer my question, though. Do you know Ronan Lespay or not?
Could you describe him? Cormac's got a better memory for faces than for names.
I have his portrait. Here, have a look.
Ah, yes. Cormac saw this fellow recently.
To tell?
On election night?
That's right. He come into the bar, voted, went out. Looked drunk to Cormac, but then everyone at that place usually is.
Alright, that's helpful, I guess. I don't really know. We already knew he was there, so.
Do you frequent a pub called the Silent Raven?
Yes. The Raven is where Cormac goes to forget about the day's work. The barmaid, Nicole, she's a good sort. We likes talking about the ponies down at the track. Nikki loves her some racing. She gives Cormac drinks for cheap in exchange for odd jobs. Nice to have your own personal sewer man, I suppose.
Ah.
She's really the only one Cormac talks to. There's a few others Cormac sees often, but Cormac hasn't spoken with them.
Ripes. This guy goes on and on, doesn't he? To be fair, you were warned.
Oh, is he the talker? I thought we had a smelly man and a talker one, but it's the same person apparently. Also, I'm wondering, since he is in the sewers, and there was this drain, would he be able to help us to fish out that gun?
Do you know anything about the murder that took place outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Murder? Ah, yes. The commotion out in the alleyway.
Emotion.
That's right. Did you see or hear anything?
It was a touch noisy that night, what with all the election stuff happening, but Cormac remembers the sound of the gun. One shot, and then shouting and hollering from the bar. A few people run outside to look at what happened. but Cormac just stayed in his seat and finished his whiskey.
So you didn't see the man who was shot, or who shot him?
No, keeps to himself, Cormac does. Makes life easier that way.
Could
guess
he
it
be any
does.
more unhelpful? Actually, it's probably best not to find out.
Well, he did hear the gunshot, he said, so that's a little helpful, maybe.
Is it difficult being a sewer worker?
Difficult? Nah, it's a dream. Especially since they introduced all these steam tech treatments and purification whatsits. The only thing Cormac's got to do is check the little dial never goes into the red on old Belinda.
Belinda?
Aye, the purifier. She's a real special lady who's made Cormac's life so much brighter. Cormac makes sure to thank her each and every day.
Wonderful. You're talking to a lunatic.
Wasn't so easy a few years ago. Back then it was tapping on pipes all day
Tapping on pipes?
to make sure they was flowing fine and not blocked. Cormac would take his little hammer and tap, tap, tap on the pipes to make sure they was ringing fine. You can imagine what that was like. Tap, tap, tap. Ring, ring, ring. All day, up and down, over and over. The tapping stopped, but the ringing never left. Still hears it to this day, Cormac does.
Yeah, that would make me kind of crazy as well. And also every time I want to comment, that Bill comments instead of me, so and sometimes it's funny, so I'll just let him do it.
Do you have any opinions regarding the election?
Cormac hears lots of things about Atwood, but he's the one what's got this new machinery put into the sewer system. It's still a job for Cormac, so all that talk about being replaced by machines is just talk, for now. But Leroy
Thankfully-
says he wants to give the workers their fair chance, so Cormac can't argue with that. What about you?
I think Leroy will be a good prime minister.
Bah, they's all the same in the end. One way or another. No point worrying, says old Cormac.
What does this mean, storm drain? What are you gonna ask about this?
Would you be able to remove the cover of a storm drain?
Ah,
Yes, of course, sir. Cormac's got the right tool for the job.
so he's gonna help
Just a
me.
few twists from old Mary here, and any drain will open up like a Christmas rose.
That's what I
Excellent.
needed.
Would you be able to open the storm drain outside the Silent Raven?
Suppose so, yes. But Cormac ain't allowed to just open up drains as he sees fit.
I'll do it.
What do you want this drain open for?
I just enjoy sticking my hand into dank puddles. Ooh, gross. There's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain. I don't have a reason, but I'll let you know if I come up with the one. Can I just be honest, I wonder?
I believe there's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
You don't say.
It's quite true. It may even help me solve a murder.
Well then, in that case, Cormac will get the drain open for you. Come on, there's not a moment to lose.
Really?
This it then?
That's the one.
Right, won't be a moment.
So I chose right. Thank you.
There we are.
Thank you for your help, Cormac.
Not a problem. Now, if you don't mind, Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick pint.
This is kind of handy because I wanted to ask the barmaid some stuff as well. Since he said that the barmaid spoke to the... what do you call it? Strange man? I think. Now what?
Detective work is a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Don't forget to roll up your sleeve.
Eee,
I really hope there's something down there.
me too. I think the gun is there.
Ugh. This is almost as bad as the time I had to search for that stolen necklace in a pile of horse manure.
Ew.
I'm really glad I didn't draw the short straw in that case.
Yes, I knew
Well, how about that?
Wish the police had found this so I wouldn't have to carry it around.
it. Yeah, but when did they ever find stuff? That's it.
Nothing else down there but dirty water.
If that's what you want to call it. So we have a bunch of clues. Let me check. So speak to Dr. Edwards about the murder. That means that I have to show him the gun. Speak to Tom Puffin at the cathedral. Yeah, that's right. I don't remember who he is, but I think he's also one of the bar guests. So how do you want to call it? Where are my clues? Pistol. A muck cover pistol found at the bottom of a storm drain outside the Silent Raven. Cormac's testimony. Cormac saw a man who fit the description of the one outside the taxidermy shop on election night. He claims to have seen him hanging around the poles and entering and exiting the bar frequently. He also spoke to the barman after the murder took place. So he was still there after the murder. I did not get that. Right, and he said the name Priscilla, which doesn't mean anything to me or anyone I speak to. So why don't we go ask the bartender about that strange man, because she said she didn't see him? Or did she? And where are the pools, I wonder? I can't really do anything.
Doesn't look like cleaning up is hot.
No, let's speak to her.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Some answers and honesty, please.
You know that description I gave you earlier? Of the tall man in black?
Yeah, what about it?
I spoke with Cormac, and he told me he saw you speaking with someone fitting that description shortly after the murder occurred.
Yeah, explain that.
And you believed him? Cormac's a good sort, but he's not exactly reliable.
He's standing right there.
I'd say he's twice as reliable as you are. Now tell me the truth, or I'll have you in as an accomplice to murder.
All right, relax. I don't know the man by name, but he came to me after the commotion outside and paid me a few crowns to keep my mouth shut about it. I didn't ask any more questions, and I wasn't about to refuse some extra cash. That was that, I swear.
That's not good enough. I need some way to find this man. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Well, I did notice he had a scar on his left cheek. Kind of looked like a shepherd's crook.
That's helpful.
But that's all, really.
I suppose that'll have to do.
It's very helpful, though. How many people have a scar like that?
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Nope.
Of
I
course it
appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Yeah.
doesn't. Very helpful she is, but not really. All right. Do I need to speak to him
Let's
still?
not stick around here if there's nothing more to ask about right now.
Right now, so I do need to come back to him then, maybe. Does that mean that his location is gone? It is. Right, so he's at the bar now, a Cormac fella. So I hope I didn't miss anything at the sewers, because I can't go there anymore. Did I check out everything? I don't know. What to do now? We could go back to Dr. Edwards. Maybe that's smart, because do we want to carry that gun around? Maybe we shouldn't do that, because I'm already kind of suspicious and stuff. Or should we? No. Let's save. And go to Dr. Edwards, because maybe I need that gun someplace else? Would I? Do I need to maybe first go to the cathedral? So that maybe something happens. No, not really. Some puffin.
What a racket! I'm glad you're not a member of this church. Sitting through Sunday Mass would drive me insane. Now this is one intriguing chest. If only we could search it without arousing any suspicions.
Looks like there's a body in there or something.
This angel looks like it would throw its lamp at you as soon as you turned your back on it. This looks like the nicer of the two angels.
I don't see a difference.
Heh, prayer candles? People think lighting one of these is going to solve their problems. If only it were that easy. Also,
Yeah, I
what
agree.
happens if they go out? Does that mean your prayer gets canceled? Shh. What? It's an important question.
Not really. What can I do with them?
The more I think about it, the more I want to test my theory about prayers being...
I can blow them out. I don't know if I want to do that though. Let's speak to Tom Puffin.
I beg your pardon. Are you Tom Puffin?
I am. How may I help you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I wanted to ask you a few questions.
Questions? Have I done something wrong?
Maybe.
No, Mr. Puffin. I simply believe you may have some information that I need.
Very well, then.
Alright, he doesn't have a scar, so he's not our man. Let's start with this.
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Priscilla? What does that have to do
So
with
you
anything?
do know her.
The name has come up in my investigation. Is it someone you're acquainted with?
No, it isn't. I don't know anyone by that name.
He certainly seemed concerned about her, though.
I agree, he's lying. Definitely lying.
What were you doing on election night, Mr. Puffin?
Election night? That was ages ago, wasn't it?
It was 4 nights ago, to be precise.
Oh, you have to understand. I have trouble recalling what I ate for breakfast this morning, let alone what happened 4 nights ago.
Yeah, right.
Well, isn't that convenient?
I agree.
Do
he's
try
very
to remember,
suspicious.
Mr. Puffin. It's quite important.
Well, I know I voted at my local polling place, the Silent Raven. And then, I'm not sure, actually.
You're not sure. What about this?
Do you know anything about the murder outside the Silent Raven?
Murder?
Yes, a man was shot. Did you see or hear anything?
I don't remember. I don't think so, no.
How long were you at the Raven that evening?
Not very long, I don't think. I went, voted, stayed for a drink, and then I left.
You recall what you did the rest of the evening?
Not specifically. I probably went home and went to bed, like I always do.
Weird. And also, why does he have such a weird haircut? What is this?
Do you recognize the man in this photo?
Is that? No. No, never mind.
So you do.
What is it?
Well, for a moment, I thought it was someone else, but I was clearly mistaken.
So you don't recognize this person then?
Afraid not. Who is he?
His name is, or rather was, Ronan Lespay.
What? Is he dead?
He is. I'm trying to find out who killed him.
Well, I hope you find your man, Mr. Fordham.
Well, no thanks to you, apparently.
How did you become choir master of
I
this
wanted to
church?
ask the other one.
Oh, well, I studied music at the University of New Britannia. Once I completed my studies, I began writing symphonies in hopes of securing a patron, but I had no luck. So I decided to focus on choral compositions. I sent a few pieces to the bishop, and he offered me the position.
And you enjoy it?
Oh, yes, sir, immensely. I'm able to continue composing songs for our choir, as well as teach music to our young members. I take my church duties very seriously.
What else do you do besides lead the choir?
Just a few things here and there, making sure the aisles and the pews are clean, tending to the prayer candles, and that sort of thing.
I wanted to ask this, but I misclicked.
Are you in the habit of using opium, Mr. Puffin?
What? Why would you think that?
Yeah, you are.
I met your friend Darius. He told me you share a pastime.
All right, yes, I do enjoy a visit to the opium den from time to time.
From time to time? More like morning, noon, and night.
Have you found the drug has had any adverse effects? Memory loss, for example.
For example.
And I admit I'm not quite as quick as I used to be, but without it, I'm in constant pain.
Is that right?
I fell off a horse when I was 15, and ever since then, my back's not been right. The doctors haven't been able to help. Poppy is my only comfort. I wish there were another way.
It might be worth seeking a more professional opinion about the effects of opium.
Right, the election?
So, what do you think of the election results?
All right, the election.
Who won?
Who won?
Leroy. He beat Atwood by a significant margin.
Oh, I suppose that's good. I think I may have voted for him, but I'm not sure.
I'll let you resume your practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
How are we gonna find out how he knows Priscilla, though? And look at the chest. How are we gonna do that?
What a racket!
I want a
But-
racket. Do we need to blow out candles? Will that maybe get him to go here? I don't know what will happen if I do this.
Well, that's all of them. Hope you made a wish.
Alright. Now what? He's still here playing. I don't know what is gonna happen now. Maybe nothing. And there's nothing else to do here besides that. So I guess we do have to go to our doctor. Let me think. Yeah, I don't think... And we need to find a place for that gold key. Which is also maybe at the taxidermy shop. He had this room. But the guy there wouldn't let us go to it. So why not go to the police station, because I really don't know what else to do, and also we need to give her a better
Can
description.
we talk for a moment?
Don't we? Strange man.
Can I try giving you that description again?
Sure. Could you describe...
Tall and large.
He's tall.
All right. What?
Red.
I'm certain it's red.
All right. Do you know of any...
Distinct scar.
Yes, he has a scar on his left cheek in the shape of a shepherd's crook.
Good. That will be helpful. All right, I'll put out the bulletin. Give me a moment. All right, the bulletin is out. I'll let you know if...
Oh, that's right.
Just got your bulletin.
Hello, Giles. Have you got something for me?
As a matter of fact, I've got someone in the jail fitting your description perfectly.
You don't say.
Yup. Name's Harvey Presser. Got picked up a couple of days ago.
Thank you, Giles. You heard the
He
man,
doesn't
Fordham.
like him.
You've got yourself someone to interrogate over at Bow Street.
Cool. And let's go to the doctor while we're here. I should have double-clicked, that would have been quicker, but can't change it now. And give him the gun. And after that, speak to a suspect.
Pardon me, Edwards.
Is this
Yes?
right, though? Are we gonna lose it again? Well, I did save, did I not?
Edwards, do you know much about the effects of opium?
Quite a
Oh.
great deal, unfortunately. It's all the rage these days.
Didn't need it to ask
Most
him.
people use it to calm the nerves or relieve pain, but it's highly addictive and has numerous adverse effects.
Do tell.
Such as?
It depends, really. Most common are sweating, nausea, memory loss, or blurred vision.
Memory
But more
loss.
serious cases can lead to hallucination, violent mood swings, coma, or even death. I just had a case in here a few weeks ago who died from an opium overdose. It wasn't pretty.
Doesn't sound like it. Thanks for the information, Edwards.
Anytime.
So what if that other opium guy hallucinated and killed our man? Could be.
I found this pistol at the scene of the Lespay crime. Could you take a look and see if it was used to murder him?
It's all slimy. Where was it?
Slimy.
Sitting at the bottom of a storm drain.
Oh, I suppose that's not as exciting as finding it inside someone's intestines.
Exciting.
Did I ever tell you about that post-mortem, by the way?
Gross, don't.
No, I certainly don't want to hear about it now. How long will it take you to analyze that pistol?
I should have something conclusive within the hour, if you don't mind waiting.
I'll wait.
No, it'll give me some time to gather my thoughts.
Right. I've concluded my analysis, and this gun was definitely used to shoot Mr. Lespay. The
Interesting.
bullet I removed from his body is a perfect match.
Thank you, Edwards. That is extremely helpful.
Do
There's
still
one
have
more
it?
thing. I cleaned off some of the muck and found the initials JB etched into the handle.
Interesting.
My expertise with guns is purely forensic, so I can't determine if this is the gun's maker or the initials of its owner. That's going to have to be your job.
I'm on
Thank
it.
you, Edwards. Help is always appreciated.
JB. Who's called JB?
I'll be going now, Edwards.
Take care, Fordham.
So basically, all our bartender guys, bar guys, how do you call it? Harvey Presser, that's not JB. They're all suspects. Cormac, Darius. I don't remember all the names. Ronan Space, so that's not it. We have no suspects. Landlord. Jimbo. What if it's Jimbo? What's his last name? Jimbo's last name. Do we know it? Do we need to go back to that bar and speak to him again? JB could be. Why not go to our suspicious character first? Who's in jail? Where is it? Oh, right, he's annoying, yeah. I get
Fordham,
it.
you look even worse than the last time I saw you.
We can't all manage to keep looking as good as you, Giles.
What brings you back?
He's very tall, though.
I'm looking to speak with your prisoner.
Presser? I just got off the horn with Upton about him. Seems you're not the only one interested in finding the man.
Then I suppose it's lucky I got here first.
Suppose so.
What was he brought in for, exactly?
He's the suspected leader of a cooping gang. Makes me glad I didn't bother to vote. All those dirty politics are just a waste of time.
What's scooping?
And people wonder why nothing in Parliament ever changes.
What is that? Are they not gonna explain that to me? I can look at him.
He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business.
Yeah, that's the same gun we got last time. But now I understand why Upton was so annoyed, because he's an annoying man. And he's also very racist, isn't he? I'm speaking louder than I'm faster than I
Harvey
can.
Presser, I presume.
Who's asking?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
What do you want from me?
Just a few minutes of your time. You don't have anywhere to be, do you?
Hardy ha. Ask what you want, but I'm not answering anything until I see a lawyer.
But I can still ask it?
Do you recognize the man in this ferrotype?
Should I?
His name is Ronan Lespay. He was shot outside the Silent Raven on election night.
That's a real shame.
He kinda looks like Jimbo though, a little, doesn't he?
Are you saying you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven on election night?
Not a thing. I've never even heard of the Silent Raven.
Yeah, you were there.
Is that right? Because I've spoken to at least 3 people who swore they saw you there that night.
Yeah, and you're not police, so that doesn't scare me. You can't do a thing about it.
This guy's starting to get on my nerves. There has to be a way to make him talk.
Really? I don't know it.
I hear you were arrested for leading a cooping gang. Is that right?
I don't have to tell you a thing. You're not a copper.
That's all the questions I have for now.
Good. Leave me in peace.
What, so I have to convince him I'm a copper? Or something? How do I do that? Interrogate him, that is a goal. Effects of opium. According to Dr. Edwards, the most common effects of opium use are sweating, nausea, memory loss, upload vision. More serious cases can lead to hallucination, violent mood swings, coma, or even death. Yeah, but I don't know how to get him to speak. Do I maybe need to ask Upton? But she's not a cop as well. What then? What then? Let's speak with Jimbo.
Hello, Jimbo. I have a few more questions for you.
All right, fine.
Like what's your last name, for example? Oh, I guess I can't ask.
Does the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
Yes, that's my ship,
Ah,
the SS Priscilla.
I
interesting.
see. Did Ronan know about it?
Of course. He always used to ask me to bring him back some exotic souvenir.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Is that it? Is that it?
Miles, have you ever noticed that this Jimbo fellow fits the description of the man loitering outside the taxidermy shop?
Finally.
The barmaid told us she saw someone matching that description at the Raven on election night. Not only that, Priscilla just so happens to be the name of the ship Jimbo works on.
He's a suspect.
And the pistol used to murder Ronan has the initials JB etched on it. It could be a coincidence, but I think it's quite reasonable to consider him as a suspect.
Thank you, finally. I've been saying that all along. Suspect. Oh, his name is Bogrov. Alright. Ronan's ex-partner, a sailor working on the SS Priscilla, recently separated from Ronan after being accused of seeing someone else. So now, I can accuse Jimbo. Oh, I need to do that with Mrs. Morgan. Alright. So why don't we go ask Upton if she knows a way how to speak to that jail guy. Can she help us with that?
Can we talk?
Sir,
Maybe.
Upton, what do you have on this Harvey Presser fellow?
give me a moment, and I'll locate the arrest report.
That might be helpful, yeah.
Here we are. He was picked up in a bar in Chumley after being identified as the leader of a cooping gang by one of his fellow gang members.
So much for loyalty. Anything else about him?
Not much besides his address.
That might be worth looking into.
It's 5885 Riverview Road, right near the asylum.
Ah, wonderful. Maybe afterwards you can drop by and pick out a room.
He's not wrong.
I'll let you get back to work.
And you'd better do the same.
I am. Let's go there. Or is it? Is it this? Yes. Ooh, there are people here.
Just a moment.
They look kind of bored though.
Yeah? What do you want?
Ooh, she doesn't look like the type to take any guff. Better watch yourself, Miles.
Uh-oh. I'd like to talk about your husband. I wanted to borrow a cup of sugar. I'm a private investigator. Well, definitely not the sugar. About her husband, would she do that? Or a private investigator? Maybe this?
Mrs. Presser, I'd like to speak with you about your husband.
Well, he's not here right now. He's been away for a few days, actually. Who are you exactly?
My name's Miles Fordham. I just have a few questions. I promise this won't take long.
All right, come in.
Yes.
But try and keep it down. My daughter isn't feeling well, and I don't want her being disturbed.
That's the right choice. Or at least not the wrong one. So I'm in. What now?
Some of those modern steam cleaners. If they use them in this place, they clearly aren't worth a damn. She doesn't look so good.
I think she's very ill. Is that maybe why he's doing what he's doing?
A man's coat. Seems Harvey wasn't expecting to be out for very long. Seems to be a notice from the bank threatening to foreclose on this place if they're late on their rent payment again. No wonder Harvey's taking a second job.
Second job.
It seems peasant soup is on the menu tonight.
Let's speak with her.
Mrs. Presser?
Yeah, what?
Well, you let me in, didn't you want to speak? Can I just ask everything without her getting annoyed?
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
And you've never seen the man in this ferrotype?
Nope. And I'm glad I haven't. Looks like a real pushover.
That's not nice.
What does your husband do for a living, Mrs. Presser?
Harvey? He's a traveling salesman. Sells steam-powered cleaners like the ones in the corner there.
Oh?
Doesn't make much money on account of most people being afraid of steam tech these days. But Harvey tries his best to provide for me and little Mary. He's a good man. The job takes him out of town for days at a time, but we get by.
And that's all he does?
What are you asking? You know something I don't?
I might.
No, not at all. I was just curious.
Oh, look, another husband keeping secrets from his wife. There are a copper a dozen around here, it seems.
And also, Miles is a very bad liar. And I wonder if I had chosen the different guy with the election, would this be different? Because now they're out of money because no one wants to buy this stuff. Would they have been rich or something?
So what do you do while your husband's away?
Hang on there. What are you playing at? I'm a married woman.
I merely wanted to know a bit more about you, that's all. I meant no disrespect.
Is that your game? Asking innocent ladies about themselves so you can have your way?
She doesn't have to worry about being mistaken for innocent, that's for sure.
No, you know what? Just forget I said anything.
And also, if I wanted to come on to you, would I have not at least shaven or something or comb my hair? I don't know.
Is your daughter all right?
She's just come down with a bit of something. This stew I'm making will put her right again.
I don't
I've been
believe
giving her
that.
regular doses of Pink Bladder's Miracle Tonic, too. I'm sure she'll be back to tearing the house down again in a matter of days. Takes after her father, that one.
No, I think she's very sick.
Are you pleased with the election results?
Yeah, I'm glad that no-good high muck-a-muck Outwood was voted out. Maybe now they can finally get to work on that bridge to Gascone we've been promised for so long.
But won't Leroy's opposition to steam tech be bad for your husband's business?
Maybe, but Harvey's always managed to land on his feet. If it comes down to it, I'm sure he'll be able to find a new job in no time.
Well, he did.
I was never too keen on him selling those contraptions anyway. It'll be a relief to get them out of the house.
I don't have any more questions for you, Mrs. Presser.
Good.
Presumably that goes into the presser's bedroom. Or it might be a closet. Or both.
Right, so I don't really know what to do with this because she didn't really give me anything, did she? That I could use. Did she? Not really. I could try and speak to him and see if he will talk now. Could try. I don't know if it's enough though.
A few more.
Whatever.
I can do this, so.
I had a little chat with your wife. You have a lovely family.
Mildred? How did you...
I may not be with the police anymore, but that doesn't mean I can't still get the information I need.
You didn't tell her about me being in jail, did you?
Don't worry. It was quite obvious your wife has no idea what you're involved in. As a man who values discretion, I thought it best not to shatter her illusions.
Illusions.
That's awfully decent of you.
Yeah, I think so.
Of course, I might change my mind, unless you start to cooperate.
That's
I
blackmailing.
have to say, Miles, you've become a real natural at this tough cop role.
All right, fine. I'll talk. Just leave my family out of it.
Great. Let's tell everything.
Do you recognize the man in this ferrotype?
Yes, I do. That's Mr. Lespay.
And how is it you know him?
I was assigned to watch him and then pick him up on election night.
Assigned? By whom?
My employer. I'd really rather not name names, Mr. Fordham.
I don't care about your employer. What I care about is what you were doing with Mr. Lespay.
Well, it was a cooping scheme. He was one of the people I was told to pick up.
Interesting.
Tell me what you know about the murder outside the Silent Raven.
The most important thing I can tell you is that I didn't kill him.
Do you know who did?
Not a clue. I was inside the bar when I heard the gunshot. I went outside to see what had happened and found Lespay on the sidewalk.
And what happened next?
What do you think? I panicked. He was in my care. I wasn't expecting anyone to get killed.
I think Mr. Presser has a wildly different definition of the word care.
I went inside and gave the barmaid 10 crowns to keep her mouth shut. Clearly, that was money misspent. Then I went back home, told my wife I was going away on a business trip for a few days, just in case. Good thing I did, too. I might get out of this with her none the wiser.
What makes you so sure they'll let you out?
Me? I'm just a small fish. but I could talk and talk about whales. That's valuable information.
Quite the shrewd negotiator, this one. I think his skills have been wasted.
Cooping scheme?
Tell me more about this cooping scheme.
I got paid to find men to vote for Atwood. Simple, really. Once I found a good mark, I followed him a bit, knocked him out, then took him to the coop, a little room I rented near the Raven. I had about 5 men on election night, including the Spay. Got them all liquored up and walked them over to the polls. Once each of them voted, we'd walk back over to the coop. I'd change their clothes, maybe give them a fake beard, and walk back for another vote. Did it for myself, too, so people would be less likely to notice. Kept it up for a few hours, until the murder.
That's why he was wearing different clothes. So that's explained at least.
Is this your first time in jail?
Yeah, actually. Suppose you think I'm just some criminal scum, born for the gibbet? I'm not a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I just made some mistakes. You've met my family. I'd do anything for them. Anything.
I suppose no good deed goes unpunished.
You can say that again.
That's all the questions I have for now.
Good. Leave me in peace.
So how did this help me, I wonder? Now I know why he was wearing different clothes, but what else? Nothing. I still need to speak to Tom Puffin, apparently. Is that because I now know what the effects of opium are? Let's do that. Also blew out all
Could I
the
have another
candles.
moment of your time, Mr. Puffin?
Sorry.
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh, I can speak about them.
It seems that all the prayer candles have gone out.
Have they? Blast, I keep saying there's a draft, but nobody's done anything about it.
What's the distraction?
Excuse me for a moment, won't you?
Yes. Let's look at his, whatever it is. Chest. Now we can.
Let's hope this chest hasn't got squeaky hinges.
Dearest Ned, your last letter made me giggle with delight. I just cannot stop dreaming of the day we can finally make our dreams come true and live together as man and wife. I think it would be just the most splendid idea to get a puppy. I've already began thinking of names. How does Waffy sound? Oh my love. B. Priscilla. Interesting. So he's also a suspect. Can I confront him with this?
Could I have another?
Yeah.
I can.
Do you know anyone named Ned?
Ned, well, yes, I do. My nephew, Ned Bunkridge.
Your nephew?
Yes, why do you ask?
Where might I find Ned? I'd like to speak with him.
Is everything all right? Ned hasn't gotten into any trouble, has he?
He might.
I always tell him just because he's training his body, that's no excuse to pick fights.
No, he hasn't gotten into any trouble.
Oh, well, he lives in Lyon, at 511 Parkside Terrace.
Right. Thank you for the information.
See, I told you this was a big case. Now we have another
I'll let
location.
you resume your practicing, Mr. Puffin.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Oh, he's practicing. I wondered why is no one there. He's playing and there's no one. So let me see. We now have this we've already been to. Where is it? Oh, here. Ned's residence. So see how many locations we have for this one when in the other cases we had maybe like 5 at the most at the same time. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. This must be the last case. It must be. Speak to Ned Bunkridge. Yeah, I'm gonna. So let's go to the nephew.
Right this way, sir. Mr. Bunkridge is in his gymnasium.
Thank you, my good man.
Well, you take a look at this place. And take a look at him. Maybe you should consider doing some training yourself, Miles. You aren't getting any younger after all.
It's always so nice to me.
They don't look that heavy to me. This seems to be where
Propaganda.
Ned keeps his extra equipment. And assorted other garbage.
Garbage.
Oh, look, maybe you can slip these on and go a couple of rounds with Ned. If that's his best right hook, he'll be a pushover. And after that expert knockout you delivered Officer Grant, he won't stand a chance.
He's referring to, I think it was my first case, the guy with the mausoleum who was standing there.
What in the ether is that supposed to be? Looks like some kind of medieval torture device. Then again, so does most of this newfangled exercise equipment.
Exercise machine, alright. I think
Just when I thought I'd seen it all. What will they think of next? Some kind of martial art? Doesn't look like any I've ever heard of.
And a rope.
Makes you wonder if old Nettie boy is at the end of his rope, too.
Alright, so none of it is useful. Let's just speak to him.
Excuse me, Mr. Bunkridge?
Oh, hello. Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. Your valet let me in.
Right, of course. What can I do for you?
I have a few questions for you, if you'd be so kind.
Yes, all right. I could use a bit of a rest anyway.
Valet? I thought it was valet. I'm saying that wrong.
Are you familiar with a man named Ronan Lespay?
Never heard of him.
I have his portrait. Maybe you recognize him?
No, I've never seen this man before, but... Huh, how about that?
How about what?
The detail in this ferrotype is a bit fuzzy, but his facial features and hair, they vaguely resemble mine.
That's
Now that he mentions it, it's true. Lespay does bear a passing resemblance to this fellow.
So
Not quite as handsome, though.
Maybe you were the intended victim.
So, you know nothing about the murder outside the Silent Raven 4 nights ago?
That's right. I don't even know what the Silent Raven is.
It's a bar in the Chum.
Well, that explains it. For one thing, I don't go to that part of town. A man like me sets foot in that den of ruffians, and I'll have every Tom, Dick, and Harry challenging me to a fight. Not that I couldn't take them, but I have better ways to train my body than beating thugs. Anyway, I don't drink. It dulls the mind and softens the body.
I see. Well, just thought I'd ask.
I'm sorry I can't help you, Mr. Fordham, but I hope you solve whatever it is you're investigating. You seem like a nice enough sort.
Thanks, I guess. And also maybe it's in your best interest if they were after you.
Tell me about your uncle.
You know Tom?
I've met him, yes. He's the one who told me where you lived.
Oh, right. Well, my uncle is, an interesting man.
You could say that.
Is that an interesting of the good or bad variety?
I really wish he would take better care of himself is all. I have the feeling that he's on some sort of drug, although he always denies it.
Definitely
What gives you that impression?
Well, most of the time he acts completely normal. He goes to work, visits with me. Sometimes we go out together to the theater or a gallery. But some days his mood changes. He goes very solitary, won't leave his house, gets short with me. One time I went to visit him. I heard him yelling along with what sounded like furniture being knocked about. It only happened once, but it worried me. I hope Tom isn't in any sort of trouble.
Opium is one hell of a drug. It's a good thing you never got to that point with the soporific, or Adelaide would have thrown you out much sooner.
Are you all right, Mr. Fordham?
Yes, I'm fine.
What? Too soon?
Yes. And she threw me out anyway, so does it really matter?
Could you give me Tom's address?
You don't have it? I thought you said you'd spoken with him.
I visited him at the cathedral.
But if he's there, why do you want his address?
Because he's suspicious. I think he might be involved. I just wanted to look at his things. Actually, never mind. Well, I'm not going to say never mind because I want his address. If I say I wanted to look at his things, he wouldn't give me the address, would he? I think I have to say this.
I have reason to believe he may be somehow involved in a murder.
That's a serious accusation, Mr. Fordham. What proof do you have?
Nothing concrete just yet, which is why I'd like to investigate his home.
Well, you're not the police, so I'm not obligated to tell you. I'm sorry, but you'll need more than just a suspicion to convince me.
All right. I can say this still, but he won't. This won't work, I don't think.
He interests me. I'd like to look at his things.
He interests you.
Yes. Choir master, musician. He seems a very intriguing fellow. You said so yourself.
No, I need something else.
And how will going to his apartment and looking at his things help you?
I'll get to know him better?
You're an odd man, Mr. Fordham. I don't think I'll be giving you that address.
Yeah, I knew it.
In fact, maybe you should just stay away from my uncle. And me as well, for that matter.
Oops.
Ah, wonderful. Making friends everywhere you go, as usual.
Did I mess up? Uh-oh. I can't speak to him anymore.
Bunkridge.
Get out of here before I...
Creep, yes. Alright, so I'm gonna reload because I really thought that that wasn't what I was supposed to be. Which is kind of annoying because I didn't save in between. So I have to do that again. But I guess it's fine. So we looked at everything.
Right this way, sir. Mr. Bunkridge is in his gymnasium.
Thank you, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
I'm gonna skip this. I've looked at everything, so I'm not gonna do that again. I'm also gonna skip the conversation I've already had with him. Address.
Could you give me?
But if
So I think I need to find something else because these two don't work.
On second,
So how am I gonna get that? I don't
does
know.
the name Priscilla mean anything to you?
yes, it most certainly does. My lady love is named Priscilla Poundstone.
I see. What can you tell me about her?
Oh, she's a darling. I love her very much. Such a kind and gentle soul she is, too. Loves animals, especially dogs. We've been together for ages and are due to be married soon.
When was the last time you saw her?
Saw her? Oh, no, Mr. Fordham. She doesn't live in New Britannia. She attends Miss Threadneedle's Academy for Young Ladies in Cormorant.
She lives in New Holland?
That's right. I've never actually met Priscilla face to face. We communicate exclusively through correspondence.
How did you two get involved?
Her father and mine were old military friends. They decided between them that their children would be engaged.
And you're both in agreement?
Yes. I admit at first I was a bit hesitant, but we share many of the same interests. The distance between us is not a detriment to our love.
I wonder how that will change once they actually begin cohabiting.
It might.
So you correspond regularly with Priscilla?
That's right. At least one letter a week. My uncle does me the kindness of acting as courier.
Well, that's why he has
You
it.
think I might have a look at one of those letters?
What for? They're private correspondence.
I understand, but I feel this is important. Perhaps you could show me one that isn't too personal.
Yes, I suppose that would be all right.
Thank
In
you.
fact, I think there's a recent one on the shelf there. That's not too private. But you won't need to take it, will you?
Not at all. I just want to have a look.
Alright, so I think I need to look at that letter and maybe after that get the address.
You're very into physical conditioning, aren't you?
Oh, you noticed. Yes, I believe that a healthy body is just as important as a healthy mind, if not more so.
Well, he's definitely prioritizing the former.
It's important to keep fit, especially at a job like mine where I'm in a chair most of the day.
What job is that?
I'm a clerk at the Bank of Vespuccia. But someday, I hope to leave and teach others about the health benefits of regular exercise. Perhaps even open up my own gymnasium.
Ha! He actually thinks people are gonna go for that? Good luck to him.
The Bank of Vespuccia, we've been there with, I don't know which case, but first we had a case where the lady went catatonic because she was, what happened again? I don't really remember, but she was very bad to her sleeps, to put it that way. And her husband worked at the bank, and in the later case we went to the bank to talk to a guy whose wife was weird with squirrels and stuff. I don't know, it sounds kind of vague if I'm saying it like this, but it really happened, I promise. So that's how we know that place.
How do you feel about the election outcome?
I'm disappointed. Atwood may not have been the greatest PM, but he was pro-steam tech. Sure, the Lygia incident was a tragedy, but people are too quick to judge. Steam technology is a boon to mankind. It's already enriched my life considerably. It's a shame the progress is going to be held back because of one isolated occurrence.
Right, so the address, I will
Thanks for
get
your
that, I
time.
think. Let's look at that letter first. My dearest Ned, I was so happy to receive your last letter. Things are going well here. I'm due to begin my next course within the week. How are things with you? Did you manage to set up that gymnasium you were talking about? You'll have to send me a ferrotype of your new physique. She's asking him for a picture of his body.
Wait just a minute. Something's off here. The handwriting in this letter is different to the one we found before. There's something strange going on with this Priscilla.
Can we confront him with that?
Could I ask you if...
All right, but try not to take too long.
Just this one.
About your uncle...
What about?
I suspect there might be something going on between him and Priscilla.
I think there's something going on between him and Priscilla.
Something going on? What do you mean?
I found a letter addressed to you from her at the cathedral, and the handwriting is different to the letter you have here.
He has one of her letters? Why would he?
I'm not sure, which is why I'd like to search his home and find out more.
If he's going behind my back, I swear I'll...
Oh, she doesn't
Calm
exist.
yourself, Mr. Bunkridge. If I find anything, you'll be the first to know.
All right. Tom lives at 117 Gimlet Terrace in Worcester.
Hey, practically neighbors.
Here, I've got a spare key. If you find anything about him and Priscilla, you'll tell me, won't you?
Of course.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Bunkridge. Thanks for your time.
I'm always honest.
Not a problem.
Well, not when I'm playing this game. I'm lying to people constantly just to get somewhere. So definitely had to do that before I could get the address. So I kind of cheated again by reloading, but you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And I think he might be behind
Nice
it.
place.
Be behind
Tidy.
it.
Nothing incriminating that I can see.
People rarely
about
leave
this?
anything incriminating out in the open. It's time to have a look around.
Very true.
Puffin's daily planner. The man leads an even more boring life than you.
Than you.
Who knew that was even possible?
He's so mean to me.
That's odd. There are some scratches on the floor next to that statue.
Some. I think it's a secret door.
How about that? Looks like we found Singing Tom's buried treasure.
Oh, it's something else. What did you find?
Let's just see what we have here.
Yes, let's. Dearest Priscilla, I have completed all my plans and will soon come visit you in Cormorant. I don't know how to say all these places. Please remember that life in New Britain is hard, and so I may look a bit more advanced in years than you might expect. So his uncle is trying to be him?
Interesting stuff, but what about the box itself?
A gun?
It seems Puffin's gun has gone missing. He should really take better care of his things.
We should try if the one
Jenkins
fits.
and Bowen. The name shares the initials that were on the murder weapon. That's quite a coincidence, wouldn't you say?
I would if I believed in coincidences.
I don't.
Things are starting to fall into place here, Miles. Between the letters, the missing gun, and what Edwards told us about the effects of opium, I think we have enough evidence to consider Puffin a suspect.
Finally. Yes, he did it, I think.
It's empty. It's empty.
He just puts out his hand, it's empty. That's all he does.
It's empty.
Alright.
So Puffin plays at home, too? His
poor
poor
neighbors.
neighbors. Puffin's music room is a bit lacking in comparison to the one in the painting. No point wasting time searching Puffin's bedroom. I have a feeling that if there's something to find, it's here in the sitting room.
How could you possibly know that?
Huh. I was wondering when he was going to show up.
Wouldn't you have to search
The
everywhere?
look in her eye tells me she's probably hiding something. Music books. Clearly.
So that's it, I guess. Well, he is the suspect now, at least, which he wasn't before. Desk. Yeah, I did this. Can look at the box again. I want to put in the gun and see if it fits, but I guess I gave that away to the coroner. So I can accuse Jimbo and Tom. Well, Tom for sure did it. Where is he? Choir master at St. Denis Cathedral, opium addict, in love with his nephew's fiancée and appears to be sending a letter posing as his nephew. So I think that is what happened, because that other guy heard the name Priscilla, so he yelled, "This is for Priscilla." He wanted to kill his nephew, but accidentally killed someone else because he was hallucinating because of the drugs, and he's in love with her. So is he maybe sending fake letters to his nephew so that he keeps Priscilla's letters to himself? Is that what he's doing? That's what handwriting is off, I mean. I think that's it. I think that's the conclusion to the case. Do we need to confront him, or should we just go... I don't know. Would that work?
He won't be much more help right now.
He really needs it. Yeah, I think we just need to go to the bakery and say that this is our man. I really think he did it.
Have you got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
Yes, of course.
I don't want to ask anything. I want to tell you something. I can't ask stuff. Let's do that.
Did Ronan know anyone named Priscilla?
Priscilla? No, I never heard that name before. Who is
Witchy.
she?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
I wonder if Ronan had finally met a young woman.
I doubt it.
Oh, boy. Now you've done it.
She's quite unstable, isn't she?
Are you familiar with someone who goes by the name Jimbo?
No, I don't think so. Who is that?
A friend of Ronan's.
No, as I told you, I didn't know Ronan to have any friends. I especially don't recall him mentioning anyone called Jimbo.
Alright, let's wrap up the case.
I've completed my investigation of your brother's murder, Mrs. Morgan.
You have? Oh, that's such a relief to hear. Who killed him?
It was Tom Puffin. I can also say unsolvable, but Tom Puffin did
It was Tom Puffin, choir master at St. Denis Cathedral.
What? But why would a member of the church do something like that?
Puffin is in love with his nephew Ned's fiancée, Priscilla. He's even gone so far as to intercept their letters and write to each of them under false pretenses. Mr. Puffin is also an avid opium user and is prone to fits of rage as well as hallucinations. The evening of the murder, Puffin was at the Silent Raven, and in his opium-induced fog mistook your brother for Ned. He had his pistol on him, and his rage and jealousy got the better of him. Poor Ronan was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And what about the clothes he was wearing? Or why he was in Chumley in the first place?
I'm afraid your brother fell victim to a cooping gang. They dragged him to Chumley and forced him to vote multiple times. He was wearing someone else's clothes as part of a disguise.
My poor brother. So what happens now?
Now, I'll inform Miss Upton of my findings, and she'll send an officer along to arrest Puffin. From there, justice will be served accordingly.
I see. Thank you for your help, Mr. Fordham.
I hope I did it right, made the right choice. But I think I did.
Tom Puffin?
Yes, may I help you, officer?
You're under arrest for the murder of Ronan Lespay.
What? Oh, God. So it wasn't a dream.
Come along, sir. We need to question you at the station.
I think this is right. Thank you for watching. Curious what happens next? Subscribe to my page so you don't miss anything.